What's going on, y'all? This is Roscoe, and I'd like to welcome you all to the DC universe. Uh, this marks the first of many installments of what will be, informative and educational videos to, be a resource for everybody that plays DCU online. It's a great game. I really do enjoy it. I've been playing it for about a year now. Um, I love it. Love it. It's a wonderful game. The only drawback, if I'd say there's a negative, is it's just really difficult to find quality, uh, up to date resources for information on, just the ins and outs of the game. Stat weights, builds, strategies, you name it. It's all pretty difficult to find. Some of it's outdated, some of it's just flat wrong. Um, and I think in order to better everybody's experience, you got to have this type of information available to you at hand. So I'm going to start with the basics. There's going to be a lot of videos of just me talking in depth about, what experienced players would consider common sense and simple things, but really aren't to the new player. And a lot of times people have to spend a lot of time struggling and doing things, the hard way until somebody comes along and explains it to them. And some people never even get that opportunity to have somebody explain it to them. So that's what I'd like for this to be, you know. Yep. I'd like to say welcome, and this is, your sort of university, DC University online. Okay. Today we're going to be talking about exobytes and augments and overall just stats and why they're important and what to do when you're building your tune and, when you choose a path and like whether you want to do superpowers, if you're a tank or a troll or healer, what should you do to better your experience, to become the best hero or villain that you can be, and, to be good enough to get invited into groups and to feel like you can really not just take part, but be a vital role. There's nothing better when you get into a good raid group and everybody's pulling their own weight and it's a good group and clear content. It's extremely satisfying. So, but before you get to that point, you got to know the basics. So here we go. We're going to start out with, like I said, exobytes and augments. All right, so exobytes, anytime you get gear that you're not going to use, maybe it's out of date, like it's obsolete, it's not an upgrade. Maybe it was what you were wearing before for your armor, but it's no good now. All right, you're going to take this armor and you're going to come over to a workstation. It's the House of Legends. You're going to find you a workstation. You got research and development is actually technically what it is. You got assembly, archives, but salvaging. Salvaging is what you want. Okay, salvaging. This is all the list of salvageable gear that's in my inventory right now. As I break this stuff down, it's going to give me exobytes in exchange for the gear. All right, and the exobytes scale with the level of the gear that I'm salvaging. So the higher the gear, the higher level item level of the gear, the higher the level of exobyte. So we're going to go through here. We're just going to break them all down and see what we get. So an easy way to, when you're doing this, if you see over on the right-hand side, all the numbers that are in red lets you know that those are it's a downgrade. That gear is going to give me less than what I already have on. What I have on is going to give me more. So when you're going through this, anytime you see it in green, whether you see it in the underneath the style for something that's not collected, and or if it's in the numbers green, always take a look at it. If there isn't any green, don't worry about it. It's junk anyways. So we're going to start going through. Utility belt, ring, no. This is all junk. These mods here, you can disassemble these too. They're going to give you core elements that you would use to craft other generator mods. We'll get more into that in the future, but if you're not going to use them, break them down. Everything in this game is worth saving. There's nothing in here that is not useful in some way, or nothing you're gonna just never use. Everything that comes to you, you should probably save, or you salvage it and you save whatever it gives you. You know, because everything's got its use. Nothing is just here. Like the only things, there's a couple of things that, you know, like vanity items and base items that give you little like trinket things that literally you just sell for cash to the vendor, but that's it. Other than that, everything has a purpose. So anyway, break down the generator mods, finalization, no, else, 51.3, no, all this stuff. It's all just gonna get salvaged, and I'm gonna show you what you do with it afterwards. So here we go. All right. So after you salvage them, you got a choice. You can just, you know, you can basically take them and feed them right into your augments if you like. But you can also upgrade them too with the exo material that you farm throughout the world, DCU world. You can use these exo material in combination with lower level exobytes to upgrade them. There's basically 3 stages to every exobyte. You've got flawed, solid, and pristine. Okay, so if I've got flawed, I upgrade it with 5 exo material, and it gives me a solid. I take a solid, upgrade it with 5 exo material, and it gives me a pristine. And the big difference between that is the amount of experience that it actually gives you. So like we're looking at a pristine level 20 gives you 824,000 XP. A solid, which is, you know, a medium level level 21 exobyte, gives me 1,202,882. So it's a big jump. And then let's say, okay, the difference between solid and pristine for a level 21. All right, pristine. So you had 1.2 million for the solid. All right, now the pristine is 1.4 million. Okay, and it jumps up. So, you know, it's definitely worth it, especially when you're dealing with finite resources like armor, and you're trying to level up everything as quickly as you can because you want to get to that max level. You know, upgrading it is definitely worth it. You know, it's a little bit more tedious to go farm the exo material, but it's kind of a relaxing thing. You know, put on some music and go around the open world Gotham or Kondak or you know, Metropolis. You can put on a radar finder or whatever, or just you know, run around until you hear one of the notes. But you farm the exo material, a good stack of them, and then you use those to upgrade your exobytes. All right, it's worth it. It really is in the long run. So here I'm gonna do. I've got 5 right now, which I'm only gonna upgrade 1, but I'm gonna upgrade a flawed into a solid. Okay, so we'll do that, and there you go. That's literally what you get. I took 1 flawed and turned it into a solid level 22. All right, so once you do that, you got your exobytes. You can, you know, you want to use them on your tune. This guy right here, he's already maxed out on his exobytes, or his augments rather, but I'll just kind of show you. You know, this is a superpower specialization, so we stack might with superpower. But you see, these are all rank 432. That's max rank right now for augments. Okay, so can't really use the exobytes on him, but I've got other tunes, lower level tunes that I can use them on. So I'll just mail them to one. Let's see, do this guy. So a big thing about this game is you're going to use your alts, your other alternate tunes, to help build up your other tunes. You know, this is my main tune. He's nature DPS and healer. Um, he gets priority over everything, but the moment he's maxed out, everything I get, I funnel back down to my alts. It's an efficient way to get to max level on multiple tunes, and it's kind of the way the game is structured. Um, if you just use one tune and you have one tune do everything, it's going to take you a lot longer to get to where you want to go. But if you have, you've got your one tune, but then you've got, let's say, 3 other tunes that maybe they're not quite as strong, but you can go run your dailies. You farm gear, as you're leveling them up. You're salvaging gear, um, and you're feeding that stuff into your main. That's an efficient and fast way to level your tunes up. You always want to pick one and prioritize it. That's your main. And then once that one gets up to a strong level, it doesn't have to necessarily be maxed out, but a capable level, then you start feeding it back into your other alts. And so everything kind of gets stronger together. If you've got the time, I think 2 is good, 3 is better as far as tunes go. If you can do different roles too, it's all the better. Don't just do DPS. Branch out, do some healing, try some trolling. But try different roles. But most importantly, like, use multiple tunes to help farm resources and help just hasten the pace or hasten the process of what it is to gear one out and to get them up to a current level standard. So anyway, sending these over to my alt. Sorry for blabbing here a bit, but we're getting to what you do to upgrade your augments, and then and also to I'll start talking about adaptive augments. Okay, there's 3 different types of augments in the game. Okay, you've got your origin augments, which you get at I think it's level 24 when you're leveling them up. You've got adaptive augments, which each chapter or DLC has a specific augment that you would use that gives you perks and bonuses specifically for that DLC or that chapter. Those bonuses only work when you're in that chapter's content. And come on, waiting for the mail. Anyway, and they give you the bonuses that they give you are specifically for that chapter. So you've got your origin augments, which you're always going to have. They're like your foundation. And then you've got your adaptive augments, which you would change in and out depending on what content you're running. Like right now, the current content is Raging Knight for Mournful Mogo. So the life-infused augment canister are what the adaptive augments are. So these are your adaptive. They top 2 here, and these are your origin ones down here. Okay, the origin, like I said, they're like the foundation. All right. When you're picking a tune and you're picking out like kind of what path you want to go, like, do you want to do weapon damage? Do you want to do superpowers? Are you a healer? Or are you tank? First you pick your what you want to do, your role, and then the next thing you do is you start building your gear and your stats around that. Okay, and every role has a specific stat that you want to stack, and you want to stack the most of it that you possibly can. So, for instance, superpowers, specialized or focused, you're going to stack might. Okay, might's going to be your number one stat that you're going to go for. The next one is going to be power. The next one is health. And then, there's obviously weaponization rating. And you can tell this just by looking at the augments. They've got them listed. You see, they all say health, power, and might. Okay. If I were going to do, this is for superpowers. If I were going to do weapon damage, like I still want a DPS, but I'm not, you know, I really like swinging a weapon and running up and smacking things in the face with an axe. You know, well then you're not going to focus on might. You're going to go after precision. Okay, and you scroll down here, you get these precision ones. Okay, you're when you hit 24, you're given 4 of every single type of origin, like augment. You're given 4 resto, 4 vitalization, 4 precision, 4 might. Okay, and these are the only origin augments that you're going to use. You know, you can level them up, all of them if you choose, but really you just want to focus on the ones that you're going to use for your tune. You know, like if you switch back and forth between precision and might, well, then you're probably going to end up leveling both sets. But regardless, whatever you choose, you want to make sure that you're focused in on that stat. So like I said, if you want to swing a big heavy axe, you're going to go with precision. And you see how precision, their stat weights are health, power, precision, and weaponization rating. Precision makes your weapon damage go up. All right. Might makes your superpower damage go up. Don't mix and match. Okay. Don't do a little bit of both. All you're really doing is taking away from what your role that you've chosen, like you want to be. Okay. You don't want to do half precision, half might. That just means that you're taking away from your might build, or you're taking away from your precision build. All right. Always stick to one color, and especially in the beginning, stack that as much as you can. Make that your focus. Okay. So as you're leveling these up, so here we got our augment page. We're going to go to the fortify, because fortify is where you make everything stronger. Artifacts, augments, everything. And we'll scroll down to our origin. So I always take the lowest one. So this one's 426. So he's getting close to max level. Oh, yeah. I was waiting for the mail. Okay, so the mail has arrived. So we go over here, like I said, to our Fortify tab in the inventories page. Pick the lowest one. And, you know, I've got pristine, solid. You know, what I like to do is I like to kind of take all my what I have available to me for my exobytes and kind of split it up evenly between all of them. You know, the higher the level, the more XP it's going to take to level it up. You know, so I try to keep them all pretty even, and they kind of do that themselves too. But I'll just for simplicity's sakes, like, okay, you see here, this one is a solid level 11. Okay, watch, I'll put that on here, and it gives me, or you didn't even see the XP bar move over here, this orange bar in between. That lets you know how much XP you have right now currently, and how far away you're going to get, or how far away you are to the next level, right? So that level 11, you know, which gave me 4,712 XP wasn't hardly anything. Okay, now we'll do, I'll throw these other 3 on there. Same thing. Didn't even notice the bar moved. But I'll throw a 1 pristine 21. Oh, sorry. So now I'll throw 1 pristine 21 on there. Aha, and you see how that moved up. That's how much XP these give. You know, so we'll just do that one. All right. Then we'll go on to the next one. So like I said, you want to try and divvy them up. Really, I'll probably just give them all to this one. It's 426 and the other one's 427. So there we go. And there you go. So that's essentially, that's you leveling up your augments, okay? Like, you want to get these leveled up. You want to. They're really, really important, okay? They're the foundation of your stats in the beginning of your build, okay? All right, so when you've worked on when you're leveled up your adaptive, or your origin augments, now the next thing is your adaptive, okay? Like I said, every chapter has got their own augment, okay? They can be found at vendors throughout the chapters. Here, we'll just pick one. Yeah, we'll just do Death Metal Washington. Hopefully we don't DC. But so every chapter has their specific augment. Those are the adaptive augments that, you know, give you, like I was saying before, perks that are specific to that content and that content only. These are really, really important to level up for a lot of different reasons. First and foremost, more stats. Okay, it's going to give you more might, more power, more health. Just makes you stronger. Okay. The next big thing is when you level these augments up, you're going to get a bunch of feats. Okay, feats turn into skill points, which turn into you know, more health, more power, more might. They just translate into stronger version of you. All right. There's a lot of skill points in this game. I think like the max right now is a little over 1,000. So there's a lot of feats to get. All right. And you want to take every opportunity to get feats. And adaptive augments are a really easy way to get feats and make your tune stronger. Okay. So we're going to scroll down here. See, there's always a vendor in all of these chapters that will sell the augments. Okay, so right here, this is Death Metal Washington, and these adaptive augments are the anti-crisis amplifier. And as you can see, there's a different augment for each stat. All right, so if I was tank, I'd go after dominance. If I was, a healer, I'd go after resto. I'm DPS, might DPS, so I'm going to go and buy myself 2 of the adaptive augments. Okay, once you buy 2, that's all you can get. You can buy 2 of each, but those 2 are the ones you're going to get, and they're the ones you're going to have. All right. Some people will take their old adaptive augments and feed them into their new ones. I highly, highly recommend that you do not do that. Okay, you're always going to go back and run the older content. The raids are still just as good and viable now as they've ever been. And you don't want to waste all of those resources just to level up an augment for the new stuff, and then when you go back to the old stuff, you're basically hamstrung. You're a weaker version of what you were before when you had those augments. So here we have the anti-crisis amplifiers, which are really good adaptive augments for a number of different reasons. But let's just kind of show you what they're all about. So as I highlight them, you see that they've got statistical recalibration, gives me plus 2% might, plus 1% weaponization rating. These are pretty special. That particular stat, the statistical recalibration, works in any chapter, and the anti-crisis and the totality adaptive augments are the only ones where this actually works in all chapters. So they are probably some of the best ones to have. They're sort of like universally used. If you go to the older content, before they actually had adaptive augments, you would use the anti-crisis because you're at least going to get stats and the 2% might and 1% weaponization rating. All right, you go anything above the anti-crisis, you're gonna, like you're, instead of death metal, you're in Kondak, or you're in Cursed Gotham. You're gonna go and use their particular adaptive augments. So when you level these up, it's the same sort of thing. You're gonna let's see. You're going to get some armor here. Down. But anyway, so you'll take these and these adaptive augments, and you level them up the same way that you would your origin ones. You feed them exobytes, and as you level them up, these are a little bit different though. They're a little bit like artifacts, where as you level them up, when you get to certain level thresholds, you have to break them through. Okay, you're going to break them through by using particular catalyst specific for this chapter and these augments. So this is the Dark Knights. So you would go after Dark Knight's catalysts. Uh, as you break them through, like this one, you know, rank 0, but the first breakthrough point, the milestone is rank 4. And when I break it through, I gain the ability. See where it's not highlighted, and then up here it is highlighted. The Looter Auto Tuner, which gives you 1 additional gear choice from bosses. These are the specific bonuses that adaptive augments give you, and as you level them up and you break them through different milestones, you gain a different, an additional ability or perk or something that's going to make you stronger in that content. And these go all the way up to level 28. And as you're leveling them up, you're going to get feats. Okay, so let's see. We can probably buy some catalysts real quick.
Now it's a fragging party.
When you're doing this, it's going to cost a lot of source marks. Source marks are the currency that you are going to be the life force of everything for you. So if you don't have source marks and you need to get them, I highly recommend running bounty trains. Bounty trains are some of the easiest ways to get source marks. People are always running them. It's a fun group activity to do, and it's a really good way, really fast way to get a lot of source marks. Like a good bounty train could net you anywhere from 300 to 500 source marks and be done in about 2 hours, 3 hours, depending on how efficient the group is. So I've just bought some catalysts. I'm going to go back over, get some exobytes here, level them up, and just kind of show you what it is to break the adaptive augments. Okay. You know, this game is all about stacking stats. Okay. You have a finite amount of stats that you can, or ways that you can make your tune stronger. And all of those ways you want to try to maximize your potential. All right. It doesn't do you any good to kind of have them leveled up. You know, you want to get them. It's one thing if you're in the process. It's another thing if you just never get around to doing it or you never do it. I can't tell you how many times I see somebody that's comes into a group and they want to run content, you know, and they want to get in the group. They want to do a raid. And then I look at them and inspect them, and they've got level 24 augments, you know, like they haven't even touched it. They haven't even tried, you know. It's not worth it. You're leaving so much damage and potential on the table that you're just, you know, not taking advantage of or utilizing. And you should, you know, like, you know, don't accept a weaker version of yourself, you know, like upgrade, always upgrade. So here we go. I'll put 2 of these on here, and you see right away it goes straight to rank 4. It's because it's a lower level content. But all right, so my next thing is I'm going to break this through because it's already at rank 4. See, I've got 2 of the catalysts here. So we do 1. It's got a 100% success chance. So we like it when it's like that. We break it through, and then there's the first feat. All right. All of these chapters have augments starting from, Atlantis, and you keep going up all the way to Mournful Mogo. All right. Take the time, level these up, get the feats, make your tune stronger. It's really, really worth it. So here we go. We're going to level this one up again. Do 2 more. See another 8. And this is how quick it is. Oh, crap. Let's see if I got any. I have to go back because I didn't get enough. Let's try this. Real handy way, like you can always buy the catalyst from the vendors in each chapter. You can also come to the broker here, go to the Fortify page tab, and see what you get. It's catalysts. I'm going to type in, what is that? Kryptonite, I think is what it is. So, let's see. KRYP. Search. No. They probably don't have any of them then. But anyway, the broker is also a really good way to get catalyst for cheap. Sometimes they're really expensive and it's not a good deal, but other times you'll find them on here. Let's see if we have any. So far, it doesn't look like it. But anyway, I'm probably gonna have to go and buy some. But so the broker is another place, a resource that you can get a lot of things from. Sometimes it'll have it, sometimes it doesn't. Just kind of depends on how active your server is and how healthy the economy is. Let's see, it doesn't look like I've got any. So the broker is a resource. The vendors are a resource, the chapter vendors, and the really the best resource, or one of the best resources, are every single chapter, along with Augments, also has dailies and weekly missions. All right, that's when you're running Bounty Train. That's what you're doing. You're going to go from chapter to chapter, and you're specifically doing the weekly missions. Most of the weekly missions require groups, and they give good rewards. They give you a large chest of loot. These chests always have some catalysts in them. They're gonna always have gear, but the catalyst for the breakthroughs, for the adaptive augments, and even OP items. So it's another way to, like, you get source marks, but you also get the catalysts. Um, so bounty trains are a really important thing in this game. Eventually, you never really get to a point where you quit running them. Like, you might get to a point where you don't need them as much, but especially in the beginning, run them every week. Do as many of the weeklies as you can to get the source marks, to help you get the catalysts for everything, like whether it's your adaptive augments, or the your allies, or your artifacts, whatever it is. Everything is required source marks. Kind of like I said, it's the currency. It's the money, basically, in this game. So, okay, we go here. Level this one up again. Now here the success chance has gone to 90%. The higher the milestone, the greater the chance of the breakthrough failing. Okay, and if it fails, it's going to take my resources and give me the same adaptive augment that isn't leveled up. However, if I use a seal of preservation, it will preserve my catalysts and eat the seal of preservation if it fails. Okay, seals of preservation can be bought by the vendors, but you always want to have at least a seal of preservation. When you get up to higher levels, the percentage chances drop to like 5%. And at that point, you want to use a seal of completion, which guarantees that you get the breakthrough, but that seal of completion is also consumed when you do the breakthrough. So it's just another form of like currency that the game uses to make you grind, make you do work to accomplish a higher strength or a higher form of your tune. So here we go. I got a seal of preservation. We're gonna break it through, and it's a 90% chance, so we broke through. So because it was a success as well, it didn't eat my seal of completion or preservation. It just used the catalysts. Okay, and it's already ready to break through again because of the exobytes I gave. The level 22 exobytes are really strong. So these lower level augments are going to be leveled up really fast. Because those exobytes have so much XP with them that you're just going to jump up the ranks really quick. So, and it's 12, so we need 3 more, 3 green and 1 blue. So hopefully I have enough source marks.
So sue me if I'm subcontracting a bit.
See, I clearly need to run bounty train on this tune. Worst case, I could just log over and buy them with my other tune, and then swap them out. So you see here, these cannot trade across platforms, so I can trade them in between my tunes on my account, but I can't give them to like a league, or I can't put them on the broker, which is why there were none on there. That's dumb of me to not realize that. So anyway, we got, what was it? 3-1, I think. So this is pretty much the gist of augments. The most important part, or what I hope y'all get from this, is the importance of leveling these up, taking the time, use your resources, um, and max these out. You know, they're gonna help you. They make a difference. Don't let anybody think that they don't. Okay, any good player is gonna have these maxed out to their full potential. Okay, the origin and the adaptive. Oh, you see that's another feat. It just keeps going. See, now I would have to add more uh, exobyte here to get to the next rank or milestone, which is 16. And you see how it's asking for an additional catalyst. All the augments up until Rageful Night um, will require 3 specific catalysts for that augment. Raging Night is the first one where they only, instead of having 3, they just have one catalyst, and you just need more of them. But that's the adaptive augments. Okay, like I said, the anti-crisis are really important ones. You should level those up as quickly as you can because they're universal. They're going to use them anywhere. You know, and then level up the current DLC, and then start working your way through all the other ones. Every single chapter from Atlantis up to Mournful Mogo is gonna have a vendor that sells adaptive augments. Okay, and just to touch on it real quickly, I know I said that there's 3 different types of augments. This is brand new. They just released this, but there's now the power array augment, which is going to give you a slot. And I think there's actually going to be 2 slots coming soon, but this is where you would put your white lantern ring or your blue lantern ring, which each one of those augments, when you level them up similarly to the adaptive ones, are going to give you different abilities and skills that you can add onto your loadout. They're pretty cool. You know, I haven't gotten mine yet, but as soon as I do, we'll make a little short video showing that. Apparently they level up just like artifacts. They use nth metal instead of exobytes. But that about does it for the exobyte and augment tutorial. I hope this was thorough enough for you. I'm sorry if it was a bit long-winded, but this is what I want to provide for y'all. Real in-depth information about everything in the game, so that you've got a resource you can come to. Sometimes the easiest thing is to just listen to somebody explain it and spell it out, you know, and I certainly appreciated it when I had somebody do that for me, and you know, I feel like it's something that, you know, this game is lacking. So I hope y'all enjoy it, and feel free to like, comment, share, you know, tell everybody where to find me on YouTube, and hope to see you around, you know. Just to let y'all know, I play on the Switch server. You know, my main tune's Roscoe, and if you need any help or anything, don't hesitate. Reach out, send me a message in game, or message me on YouTube, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. But until then, enjoy the game, and y'all take care.